Hello and welcome to Cutting the Bull in the Post-Truth Apocalypse. I'm Ben and as always I'm hanging out with Mike.
Hello, sorry, I was drinking tea.
He was!
Drinking tea?
Clair.
I'm an Englishman after all.
Well, thought you were French.
And she's drinking gin, so yeah.
I'm drinking tea as well.
And tea. Couldn't
Yeah.
be more.
Gin and tea.
Couldn't
Gin
be
and
more.
tea, yeah.
Couldn't be more English.
And Pete's here too.
Hello.
And today it's a movie special and we're going to talk about One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest in what's going to be a two-parter because this is a long film, 2 hours 20 minutes. We're going to go through the film this week and then give a few opinions obviously, and then next week we will go through the worst mental asylums in history that we can find, electroshock therapy and lobotomies, because that's all quite interesting as well. Obviously, this movie we'll do the returning listeners first.
All at sea today.
Odessa in Florida, Lenstadt in Germany, Podolsk in the Russian Federation. Is he back, or is that a new Russian one?
Not sure.
Could be. Welcome back. Minsk in Belarus, Port-au-Prince in Haiti. Watch out for them zombies, buddy. Jacksonville, Florida, Telford in the UK, Villa Robello in Spain, Vero Beach, Florida, Frankfurt, welcome back to you, Hinesgate, Georgia, Cumming, Georgia, Hanoi in Vietnam, Bengaluru in India, Lawrence in Kansas, Camden Town in the United Kingdom, Dublin, Ireland, Hastings in the UK, Chennai in India, Spring Valley, New York, Boardman, Oregon, Guadalajara, Spain, and Ashburn, Virginia. Welcome back to everyone, and thanks for listening.
Yep,
Tell a friend.
listening.
You can find us on Facebook at Cutting the Bull in the Post-Truth Apocalypse, SoundCloud and most podcasting platforms on Cutting the Bull in the PTA, and YouTube at Cutting the Bull in the at Apocalypse Bull. Yeah, throw us a like or subscribe, or leave us a review, a constructive one that doesn't call me a cunt.
Not that anyone get many of them.
Not that anyone has. I'm just
I was going to say you get enough of that here. So.
Exactly, I get enough of that. In private, in personal life, I don't need it in my private. Alright, so One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, an 8.7 on IMDb. I don't know if I agree with that. I'd put it as an 8.3 maybe if I was being picky. Went on a little bit too long for me.
I'd go with 8. 8 on the.
I didn't realise it was so long, because I haven't watched it in years and years. I've sort of just condensed it in my head and gone, yeah, that's really good.
Yeah.
So it felt quite long today.
Good film. But
Good film.
Yeah.
I think they drew out the first hour a bit too much. They could shorten the first hour.
I think you could lose 20 minutes. Easily.
Easily, yeah.
Starring Jack Nicholson as R.P. McMurphy, Louise Fletcher as Nurse Rashid, Michael Berryman as Ellis, Peter Brocco as Colonel Matteson, who was one of the guys in the wheelchair, I liked him. Danny DeVito as Martini, Christopher Lloyd as Tabor, and Will Sampson as Chief Bromden. Love the Chief. Who doesn't love the Chief? And this is set in 1963, we found out later in the film.
Yeah, about 45 minutes into it.
And directed by Milos Forman. The film came out in 1975. It is set in 1963 in a mental institution. It's your average mental institution with a mental asylum morning. Can we call it an asylum, or am I saying institution?
Either or, because that's
What it was at that point.
At the point, yeah.
And it's medication time when the patients are lining up for the meds. Thinking The Simpsons when the old people are getting the medication from the nurse's office.
Or the Slim Shady.
Slim Shady video, yeah, the real Slim Shady.
If anyone's old enough to remember that.
If you are the real Slim Shady, will you please stand up? And now Jack Nicholson's R.P. McMurphy enters the asylum in handcuffs, and he's a criminal claiming insanity, or he's certainly been sent there for evaluation.
Yeah.
He kind of has, hasn't he? He's committed some crimes. He's like, well, maybe he's an eccentric character. He's a larger-than-life character.
He wants the easy road, doesn't he?
He's thinking, if I can spend my remaining sentence in here instead of actually in jail and having to work in a work camp, then happy days. And he meets the chief as he's walked in, who's a deaf and dumb Indian guy. He's absolutely fucking huge, though. Well, he's got to be 6'8". Yeah, 6'8", easy.
I'd say taller than that.
Maybe even
7
a couple
foot.
of inches taller, yeah.
Big fella. Yeah. And it shows you the scene of the inmates, just how they spend their days. They're playing cards, one of them's dancing around. You know, they just
Constantly dancing
yeah,
around.
they're just genuinely kind of chilling, aren't they?
Yep.
It's like, they have a bit of therapy and then they get drugged up and they just kind of chill. It doesn't seem that bad. I think he's onto a winner at this point.
Really?
Yeah, a bit of group therapy and then you're sitting around playing cards.
Well, that's what he's thinking at first, isn't he? He thinks it's called the feed farm, isn't it? Compared to the work farm. He's a bit work shy. Doesn't want to.
Yeah, he's belligerent and lazy, says the doctor.
He's thinking it's a cushy life.
There's just no stimulation in there, though, is there?
No. You know, they want him to be evaluated because he claims he's mentally ill. I think he is, and his answer to that is, I fight and fuck too much.
Yeah, he goes, I've had 5 fights, eh? Rocky Marciano's got 40 behind him and he's a millionaire.
Yeah, it's right, isn't it?
Yeah.
Absolutely right, but the one he was in prison is he's in for statutory rape. Fucked a 15-year-old girl, although seems that she's quite willing because we do come across her later on. He says, I didn't know she was 15.
Is it the same girl?
I think so.
Well, I didn't.
They didn't mention
Didn't
the
mention
name.
that, did they?
You know, he even says the doctor.
Depends how long he'd been inside for.
Well, that's true. When he says, even when he says to the doctor, you know, when it's in your face, you know, she could be 15, she could be 18. There's no man alive who's not going to say no.
No to that. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but he is the adult.
Absolutely. I'm not. By any means.
It's not easy,
But honestly, the doctor kind of nods his head and gives a smile.
Not your point of view whatsoever. The guy on the film said.
The film, that's what I'm going with the guy. Going with the guy on the film. But they do suspect that he's faking it or trying to fake it. And so we cut then to Nurse Ratchet doing the group therapy. So yeah, Mr. Harding, he's got a wife fixation, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Yep.
Thinks his wife's cheating all the time. She gets glances from other men. I suspect there's some deep impotence there, or he's a closeted homosexual. The other inmates make allege to that,
Quite a
don't
few
they?
allegations towards that, don't they? Definitely.
So it's one of the two. It kind of descends into madness, these group therapy sessions, don't they?
Yeah.
You know, someone usually starts, and then, you know, everyone's just squawking, basically, aren't they? Just
Winding each other up.
winding each other up. We cut to a recreation town, then he's adjusting to the life, he's trying to teach the chief to play basketball.
Yep. Who's deaf and dumb.
He's deaf and dumb, he can't understand him, he's like, no, lift your hands. Raise your hands, hold the ball. Don't squeeze it too hard, because the chief's a big guy.
He's kind of like a big totem pole, isn't he?
He's a totem pole of a man. But I love him. He's an orchestrator of chaos, McMurphy. He's fantastic. He's on an inmate's shoulders trying to so he can get up to the chief's height and demonstrate how to put the ball in the basket.
Is he an orchestrator of chaos, or is he just trying to let them get their hair down and have a
He's
bit of
trying
fun?
to get you a bit of fun, yeah.
He's amusing himself as well.
Yeah.
I think he's gone in there looking at them thinking, you're all pretty normal. Why are you in here?
Yeah.
Come on, guys, stop fucking numbing yourselves with these drugs and let's just have fun.
There are some people in there that probably do need to be in there.
100%.
I'd say 50-50, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
The rest would probably be okay as...
Nowadays, would not be in...
Outpatients, is it?
Yeah.
Nowadays, they wouldn't be in any kind of psychiatric ward.
No, well,
That's
Claire's
the
the mental expert.
A mental expert, mental health expert.
That's what I meant.
She's the mental expert. She's well mental, but she's an expert.
I think Jack Nichol's character.
Who?
Jack Nichols, isn't
Jack Nicholson.
Nicholson, sorry. His character. You know, I'm not sure he's a troublemaker. I think he's possibly a touch arrogant and sort of.
Bit of a scamp.
Yeah.
He's got ADHD.
He has problems with rules and...
boundaries.
Yeah.
He's got ADHD.
He's either got an ADHD
It wasn't diagnosed in
authority.
them days.
or a personality disorder.
Maybe.
Of some sort, yeah. But there was something like that which wouldn't have been
No.
even slightly, not even in the days of the film being made, but certainly 12 years prior to that.
I don't know. I know a lady that got put in an asylum for personality disorder. But and bipolar back in the day.
But they wouldn't. That's exactly why. You know what I mean? That's why there were so many people in there, because they were put in for fucking silly things that didn't need to go in there. They could have been treated quite easily if they needed treatment, just at home like it is nowadays.
Yeah, but back then it was a taboo.
Oh yeah, it was a stigma. Yeah, totally.
I mean, for Billy, he'd go to a speech therapist.
Yeah.
A counsellor, wouldn't he?
Yeah,
that's
counselling. get him away from his fucking mother or something.
Yeah.
And clearly he has an overacting mother. Now, Nurse Ratched does run this. She likes to everything in control, everything quiet and calm.
She's a proper matron.
She's
style,
a matron,
isn't she?
yeah. She's the head.
Control freak.
Yeah.
I think in that scenario, from her point of view, she has to have that, doesn't she? Because there's her and another nurse and 3 orderlies, and there's like 18 patients. If they all decide to kick off, they're fucked.
And even, you know, when it's not one of these group sessions, they can get like parrots and sort of, you know, a bit crazy after a while, can't they? Just because one will sort of
rile the others up.
rile the other one up, and then next thing you know, it's
They're
chaos.
jumping on tables, banging things.
Yeah,
I think she instigates a few of it, especially with the cigarettes.
Her thing is that, I mean, because we got into that, they're playing blackjack for cigarettes, aren't they?
Yeah.
And they obviously get a cigarette issue, I presume,
Yep.
through the hospital, and she's like, "Oh no, because you're gambling them, so I'm gonna ration them
Treat them
out."
like children.
But it's control, isn't it? And if you give them an inch, and they'll take a yard from her perspective. And this is the 1963 thinking in mental institutions. You're there to get better. You're not there, but she is keeping them there because she likes to control. You are right in that she is a control freak.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Billy would be fine. He doesn't have to be there, but she keeps him there through the fear of telling his mother, who's presumably put him in there.
Yeah. Or she's friends with her mother, and he's been embarrassing her in the village. That's what it'll be in those times.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Back then, they were sending pregnant women away as well, weren't they?
Well, that's
That weren't in wedlock.
Out of wedlock.
That were out of wedlock, yeah.
Well, they'd send them so they go and have the baby with a relative. That was another thing.
Isn't that just incest?
No, I mean, like, they'd be pregnant and they'd be like, oh, where's she gone? Oh, she's gone to the farm.
She's gone to stay with her uncle
Gone
for
to
a
her
few
uncle's
months.
farm for a few months, and then she goes like,
been a bit wild.
no, they wouldn't even say that, and then she'd come back with the baby, or the baby would be raised as Jack Nicholson. Jack Nicholson is the best example. That exactly happened to him. His mum is actually his sister. He didn't know that. His sister got pregnant at a young age. And the mum went, all right, we'll raise him as your brother and my son. So, and he wasn't even mad. He only found out when his sister was on her deathbed that she told him. And he goes, I wasn't even mad. I remember the line. He goes, I wasn't even mad because I've never met a woman who can keep a secret that long. Mental, isn't it?
Yep.
Crazy. So yeah, about that kind of thing. But yeah, he wants the music down because they've got this awful sort of waltz music playing. It's meant to calm people down, isn't it? Keep them all placid. They'll be playing Slayer, are they?
I'd question if that guy would stop waltzing around the room if they actually turned that off as well.
That's a good question.
Which came first? Did he start waltzing and she put the music on?
Which came first? That's the philosophical question that's been answered. That's been there since 1975. Would he have danced if the music wasn't there?
The thing is, if that's
What
playing,
came first, the dancing or the music? We'll never know.
If that's playing 10, 12 hours a day, constantly looped kind of thing, it's going to drive you fucking wild. So there's 2 options, isn't there? Let it drive you wild or go with it.
Yeah,
So maybe
true.
he's just going with it.
Yeah.
It's very true. So it's clear that she runs a very tight shop, and it's time for his meds. And
Tight
he's
shop.
a tight shop. She runs a tight shop.
not a
Ship.
tight ship.
Tight ship. Tight shop. Tight ship. What's a merchant ship but a floating shop? Now there's a philosophical question. He wants to watch the baseball. It's the World Series is starting. I mean, I don't know why he'd want to watch baseball, but apparently people in America like it.
Yeah.
It's never translated well to...
And Japan.
and Japan. Japan, absolutely, they love it. But they were under American occupation, effectively, weren't they? So they had their culture a lot of their culture taken away and replaced with other American things to integrate them.
Yep. I found out something about Japan the other day. For Christmas, they celebrate it even though they're not a Christian country. But what they do is they have KFC buckets of chicken
No way.
Right.
for Christmas instead of turkey.
Interesting.
Because the head of the Japanese KFC was like, well, they have turkey, I'll just pretend that they have chicken. And now it's like a traditional American Christmas to have a KFC bucket of chicken at
I
Christmas.
haven't heard that, and I wasn't sure whether it was true or not.
That is fantastic.
I guess the Colonel Sanders is a Santa Claus.
You know what? His buckets are red and white. It's close enough. But a lot of countries that aren't Christian do Christmas nowadays, though, don't they? I mean, in Dubai they put up Christmas trees. It's just
look at England. Not exactly a Christian country, really.
Oh yeah, but we all still do Christmas and Easter, don't we?
Most of us are all fucking atheists, but we still do Christmas.
Yeah. Well, I try not to, but people insist on it. I'm just happy for the break at the end of the year and the nice dinner. I'll take that. So the World Series is starting. The World Series, even though only American and Japan really play it professionally. And he wants to vote on it. She agrees to let him have a vote, which is something.
Yep. But she knows that...
She knows that she's got them all well trained. So he can't believe no one wants a baseball with him. It's shocking.
Because it changed the schedule of the TV time. That was the whole point.
Yeah, it's the routine, isn't it? She's got them into a routine, and everyone loves a routine, and we're all in one.
Yep.
Because we like it. It makes us feel comfortable, doesn't it? Keeps us calm.
We're a bit out of routine today, to be fair, though.
We are. We've been day drinking and smoking today.
Yeah.
Love me a bit of an afternoon day drink, though.
All for the football.
Oh yeah, the Champions League
Go on, you
finals
Reds!
tonight.
Go on, you Reds!
Yeah. We cut to another scene now where they're playing Monopoly, and it just ends up like every Monopoly game I've ever played, where you end up shouting and arguing with each other.
Yeah.
And you don't give the mates Monopoly.
It really reminded me of me and my brothers and my mum and dad playing it, hilarious.
Yeah, but that guy that was not quite the ticket, he kept on putting a hotel on me.
Yeah.
That was me.
That was you.
That was me, not because I wasn't quite the ticket, because I was the youngest one and I didn't quite get the concept, so I'd just be trying to cheat. It's like, I got a hotel. You don't even own that property, though, Pete. I do.
Do you know that Monopoly was introduced to sort of warn about the dangers of capitalism?
Really?
Yeah. Everybody getting richer and everything else, and everyone else being poor.
Getting bankrupt, and and that's why you had the chance and.
Or it's there's indoctrination.
Chance it would give you a fucking. You've had a fine. That's got to pay this and all that kind of shit and repairs on your properties.
Yeah, I've won loads of third places in beauty passions. That's my favourite card.
Tenner.
Yay!
It's your birthday. Take
Second
£10 off each player. Yay!
So then he has this idea then, Murphy, that he wants to break out and go into town, into a bar and watch the game. And he's betting all the money. Who says I won't do it? Who says I won't do it? I'm going to lift this. I think it's like, it looks like they get hosed down, doesn't it, in the showers? An old podium, like a water fountain podium with lots of hoses on it.
I think they can pull them out a little bit and, shower themselves off.
Maybe.
Eventually.
Maybe, or they get hosed down.
Either way, it's made of marble.
It's made of marble.
Big and heavy.
And he can't lift it. He can't lift it. And he's like, well, at least I tried.
I can't believe he bet them to do that though. At that point I was like, maybe he is a little bit mental.
I think,
Cocky, I think.
He was trying to prove his point
overconfident.
though, wasn't he? The fact that he was the one that he's trying to do something different out of the norm, just instead of sitting back and accepting the fate of the shitness of what you're
the
dealing
routine
with.
and all that.
At least he's
And some
trying
fun.
to make a bit of fun and change.
We cup that then to group therapy. And we find and Billy, the young lad, he's only very young, he stutters, but he's kind of gets tortured by her in a way in this group therapy. As soon as she mentions his mother, which she knows is a massive psychological thing for him, the stutter's worse than ever, and she knows that. She knows how to manipulate him.
Yeah.
They have another vote on the baseball, and even though he manages to eventually to get the majority vote, because the chief sticks his hand up because he's the man. And the meeting had already been adjourned. She said, no, we're not having that.
Yeah.
No, the meeting had been adjourned, the vote was late. She didn't think she'd get anyone to vote, did you?
Yeah.
To vote?
She counted all the people that were sort of in the hospital beds or dribbling up the side of the wall and whatnot.
Like they actually had an opinion, which they probably wouldn't even know where they were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they'd been lobotomized.
It's the illusion of democracy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now, haven't we all been lobotomised in a way?
Oh, yeah.
But she won't turn the TV on, so he just fakes the game anyway.
Which drives her a bit mad.
Yeah, he does it to piss her off, doesn't he? He's like, I'm not going to let you win.
Yeah, he sits in front of the TV, doesn't he, and sort of starts doing the commentating.
Yeah.
But then everybody starts imagining it, don't they? They're all getting hyped up and they're loving it, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. It's a great scene. He's brought some excitement to their lives, and he's a great personality. I'm sure Jack Nicholson doesn't actually have to act that much to play the roles he does. It wouldn't be hard for him to be the Joker. He hasn't got to act that much, has he?
No.
Well, in a lot of his major roles, he's always played a very similar character, this eccentric individual with, you know, he's a larger-than-life personality. You think, yeah, that's probably just Jack Nicholson, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm sure he actually said that about the Joker. He didn't have to actually do too much. He just be yourself wearing this costume and makeup.
Makeup, yeah.
He goes to a meeting with the doctors who basically say they think he's faking it. Just basically gives them smart-ass answers, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Back in the recreation yard, though, he uses the chief to help him get over the fence. He stands and gets up onto his shoulders, and then the chief gives him a push. He's over the fence. He's hanging off a tree branch. What we don't know is that this is all kind of an escape plan for the day. They fully intend on coming back. He's just taking over the day. That the Simpsons kind of ripped this off as well. The chief giving a big smile as he leaves. And I like the fact that only McMurphy reaches out to the chief.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone else is like, oh,
Just
what are
leaves
you
him to
talking
it.
him
He's
for?
definitely
We can't
dumb.
even
He can't
hear you.
understand you, can't speak to
He
you.
tries to include everyone, doesn't he?
Yeah. So these guards have loaded them all onto the bus, haven't they? But they don't know that Jack Nicholson's sitting in the driver's seat.
Yeah.
And then fucking nicks the bus.
Steals the bus, it's fantastic. They go and pick up maybe the underage girl he fucked, but
I don't know,
her name's Candy. I think she might be a bit of a prostitute, I'm not sure. Might be just a prostitute he knows.
I think maybe, yeah.
Lady of the night.
A sex worker
She's
is
a
the correct
lady
term.
of the
isn't
day
it?
today.
Yeah.
A sex worker.
Not shy either way.
They go onto this boat, he gets into the harbour on the yellow bus, he gets onto the boat, he hands out the life jackets, and he's like, right, Dockmaster comes on, he's like, what are you doing all? And he basically tells them they're all from the mental asylum, but they're all doctors.
Yeah.
So, you know, this is Dr. Martini, this is what's the guy with the beard's name?
Oh, shit.
Looks like a wizard, he's fantastic,
Yeah.
because that's the famous doctor.
Yeah, I just love the looks that they give the camera, you know.
Yeah.
Sort of
Yeah, they all sort of play the part, don't they?
Yeah.
They all like lift their chin up as they're named, it's
And
fantastic.
anyone who doesn't call a doctor is Mr. Harding.
That's right, he goes,
Doesn't
Mr.
like him,
Harding,
does he?
Mr. Harding's a dick. But he
an
pulls
evil
a face when he says that, doesn't he? The acting in this film is absolutely fucking on point.
Yeah.
You can't knock that at all.
I
It's-
didn't
great
realise.
cast.
I didn't realise Danny DeVito was Danny DeVito until about halfway through the film.
Yeah, it's a great cast.
Just because he looks quite different, because he's got hair
Well, he's young, isn't he?
and he's a lot younger. And then you see him walking around, and you're like, oh yeah, it's definitely him. Obviously,
Yeah, I lost that walk, as he's always had that same walk.
waddling like a penguin.
I'm a big fan of Danny DeVito, actually, as the Penguin and in It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
He's fantastic
Twins.
in that.
Twins.
Twins?
I loved him in Twins. Matilda. He was good in Matilda as Matilda's
Yeah.
stepdad. Or
Real dad.
yeah, real dad.
He effectively became a stepdad in real life for a while.
Yeah.
Did he?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then,
the girl who played Matilda, her mum was terminally ill with cancer.
Oh, shit.
Mad.
And
yeah.
while she was in the hospital, well, because Danny DeVito directed and starred in that film, he and his wife like kind of took her in and kept her and fed her and
His
raised
his
her.
wife was the same. His wife was that little crazy one, curly hair. What's her name?
I don't know, I can't remember.
Well, I'm sure.
He
she's in
even
it.
went to the mother with an
Never seen
advance
it.
copy of the film that had just been cut and showed it her so she could see the film before she passed away. He's a genuinely nice guy. I've got a lot of time for Danny
Yeah.
DeVito.
So
Yeah.
they can convince the doc.
They convinced the
don't
doc master because back in 1963, if you're a doctor, right, you got some respectability in society, haven't you?
Oh yeah.
He's a doc master, you're a doctor. It's kind of ingrained at this point just to defer to people with authority like
I
that.
don't know if he was buying it.
But you let him go with the boat.
Yeah, because he said they're all from the mental asylum. At that point, he sort of backs off and looks.
Yeah, I don't think
A
he
bit
bought it. I
concerned.
just think he was like, well, I'm fucking off.
Yeah.
Because then, obviously,
I'm not taking on how many mentalists. You know what I mean?
Is that the correct technical term nowadays? Like mentalists.
Sorry.
Mental asylum.
very politically correct
Mental
today.
hospital inmates. Patients. Service users. There we go. He's literally just steal this boat and he's like, hey, they won't lock us up, we're crazy. it's true. They have got what they used to call a shooting license. You just do what the fuck you want because you're mad. They're gonna lock you up, they'll send you back to the asylum. They're just like fucking fishing there. It's madness. They're trying to land a fish, which they do, to be fair. Big
Couple
Yeah,
of
but the
big
boat's
beasts.
just swirling round in circles.
It sort of looks a bit slapstick, doesn't it?
Yeah, but Murphy gets to fuck Candy and they all go around to watch, which was kind of weird.
Yeah, they all abandon their lines, don't they?
And then finally they make their way back and there's a helicopter out looking for them and the police are there on the dock waiting for them. They basically pull McMurphy back in again because he's orchestrated this. Like, well, he can't be that mad if he's orchestrated this, can he?
Yeah.
You know, this takes planning, this takes intelligence, these are the actions of someone who is not insane unless he's an evil genius.
Could be.
And they want to send him back to the work camp, don't they? Work farm.
Yep.
He's not mad, but he is dangerous, and in this point in American society, this kind of guy is dangerous. He's speaking out against the system. He's not conforming.
That's it.
You know, you got to look at that. So therefore, he is dangerous in their eyes because at the time, this point in history, American society is really working really, really well.
Well, if you're white.
Well, all right. It's the capitalist wet dream, isn't it? If you're going to live in one point in American history, it's going to be this
For
point.
white people.
For white people.
It was literally hell for black people, wasn't it? Pretty much.
Well, you've got 63s. I've got the civil rights movement starting at this point. Kennedy's just been shot, hasn't he?
Yeah.
But even so, yeah, it's
A second-class citizen.
if you're but if you are a white person who works steadily, a blue-collar job, you can still buy a nice house, have a nice car. Your wife hasn't got to work. You can raise a family, send them to college, all on your one wage. It is the capitalist wet dream, isn't it? So to this point, he is dangerous because everyone else is fitting in and doing the duty for the economy and country, and he's not. That's why he's dangerous, and they all want to agree to send him back to the work farm, apart from Nurse Ratched. Who knows, she thinks that I think he deserves to stay on the ward. Keep him on the ward. We can help him.
I think it's because she knows that it's for life. Pretty much life, isn't
that's it. She knows what game he's playing because he says, I've got 68 days left of his prison sentence. And he's like, the porter he's speaking to, the steward he's speaking to, he's like, no man, you're here. Because you're here, that's it. You go when we tell you go until we see that you're a valuable member of society again, ready to be reintroduced.
And the film is a massive power play between her and
Jack Nicholson's McMurphy. And it's mainly because she could give him a life sentence, he could die in that hospital, or at least until she retires.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He could be there another 30 years. And he's thinking he's getting out, so he's fucked now. He has been committed, and there's a big difference. A lot of the patients are there voluntarily. There's not many of them there who've been committed. Only 4 on the ward. The rest of them are free to come and go as they please.
That surprised me as well. Just like he was a bit surprised, I was like, oh, why would you just go and voluntarily go in there?
So he kind of starts a mini revolution at this point. Because he's like, what the hell are you doing? Like, Billy, you should be out like driving fast cars and hooking up with girls. What are you people doing here? You all, crazier than anyone else out there.
Yeah, he's got a point, hasn't he?
Yeah, yes, absolutely.
Look at the people in charge.
And he kind of saw, going back to what I said earlier, he saw that straight away anyway.
Yeah.
Well,
this has just backed it up for him.
There's nothing wrong with Harding. He just basically thinks his wife's having affairs because he can't get it up, or he's a clock with her.
Bit of a cook, isn't he?
Yeah. He's in there because it's a more...
He's fighting
convenient
his
for
demons
him.
and he's homosexual.
He's more...
He has to face the problem, doesn't he?
That's it.
Out in the real world.
He's hiding from it in there.
With a lot of them, I imagine.
But he does start this little mini revolution. Cheswick, and he's like got a bit of an anxiety disorder, hasn't he? He gets freaked out, he panics easily. Something comes over him, he stands up to Nurse Ratched. He beats that anxiety. He's like, I want my cigarettes. He always starts to lose his shit and screech. I want my cigarettes. You're holding my cigarettes back. I shouldn't have to have these rationed. I'm a grown man. It's mental. He started until the point where he's literally dragged away, isn't he? Yeah. But when he's dragged away, and Murphy ends up fighting the porters.
Because he breaks the glass.
He breaks the glass and just gives him the cigarettes, which is what you should have done, really.
Yeah.
He's freaking out like that about the cigarettes. So you know what? Have your fucking cigarettes and calm the fuck down.
Yeah.
It diffuses the situation, but from her point of view, it'll be a power play.
Yeah.
But he's only there voluntarily. He's not committed. So he's a paying service member, isn't he? Paying service user. He's got to be paying for that somehow. If he's only there voluntarily, I'm guessing he's paying for it.
Possibly.
Or someone is paying for it for him.
Yeah.
She's literally says, "Oh no, because when I gave you cigarettes, you were running a gambling ring and using them to gamble. So why should I give you them? I want order." She wants order. She doesn't want all this going on.
No.
Even though it's probably helping them more because they're actually starting to interact. They're getting on better as a group.
Yeah.
They're having fun.
They're having, it's not just boring. It's positive therapy that Murphy's actually giving them in this scenario. Because what she's doing isn't positive. She's just keeping them there.
Well, she's dulling them and
Dulling them, but he's like,
She wants docile.
She's not actually trying to help them either.
No.
Because any time they start to make a breakthrough, she shoots them down
Yeah.
and reminds them of like why they're in such a bad way, which brings them straight back to that level. And she knows how to do it with each of them.
well, Bill is the one they show the example of the most in the film, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yep, she wants docile patients that she can control.
Yeah.
So this is a power trip for her. This is her empire. This is her kingdom, isn't it?
Yeah.
Chief helps, man. Chief gets in there.
Yeah, he sees McMurphy on the floor getting pinned by the porters, and he comes along and just bear hugs him.
The porter's got him in a great armbar, in all fairness. He's got a wrist lock on him as well. It's a nice, keeps the person down. Chief comes in, bear hugs him. I'm like, "Go, Chief."
They all get tackled to the floor.
Yeah, they do, and then
taken off and
into more like a prison-style hospital. It's more cells. I think there's a padded cell. You see, bunch of guys just roaming around in that, straight jacketed up.
It's more of a ward.
Yeah,
than a
proper
prison.
Psychiatric.
Yeah, more of a ward scenario than a prison scenario.
No, it's more of a prison, isn't it?
No, but in the sense where he's staying normally.
Oh, yeah.
It's more like a prison in the sense that you're there, you're on your bed, you're compass mentis, etc. Whereas this is more of a ward where it's private little rooms.
No, they're cells.
Lots of nurses.
Yeah.
But lots of nurses and doctors running around in this place.
It's a bit more strictly run, and it's interesting that they put the security assistants, attendants, porters, stewards, whatever you want to call them.
The muscle.
They're all white in this one, which would suggest that they're on a bit more money because it's a bit more serious, this one, isn't it?
Yeah.
A bit more high security. So they've got obviously a bit more higher paid. So this example of the racial segregation in American society at the time is the black stewards, black porters working at the lower down hospital. When you,
because all
it's a higher grade,
all of
white guys in.
Yep.
All of the porters were black up until this point, weren't
That's
they?
it, yeah. Cheswick's taken in, he's like dragged into the room, and they're like, "We're not going to hurt you, we're not going to hurt you." Well, they are going to hurt him because they're going to give them electroshock therapy.
And he's kicking and screaming, bless him.
Yeah. Then it's McMurphy's turn, he goes in quite willingly, he cooperates, he cracks a few jokes, he knows that this... I guess
I don't
that
think he knows
I don't
what's
think he
coming.
knows what's coming.
No, he doesn't. Cheswick does.
Yeah.
That's why
That's
he
why
screams
he
his head
kicked
off.
off.
Yeah. Probably had it before.
I mean, who the fuck thought that running electricity through the brain was going to help people?
I think the realisation for him came when they made him bite down, stop him biting his tongue.
Yeah.
And his eyes just kind of like widened.
And so what's
And then they do it. It's just
conductive gel.
instant.
Yep.
What are you putting on? Oh, it's conductive gel. Oh, right. And he doesn't know what that is, does he? Like,
No.
put this, so you're biting your tongue off. And it's a big, like, paddle, isn't it?
And then that's when he's like, "Oh
Shit.
What? And then within a few seconds,
It looks like he's
he's
having
been
an
shocked.
epileptic fit, doesn't it?
It's
You know?
horrible. The pain must have been fucking awful.
Yep.
Right through each temple.
But again, it's just to control them, isn't it? Make them docile.
Yeah. Not curing
You
them.
only do it when they're a problem and a nuisance.
Look at it another way, it's kind of ties into the big pharma thing. You're not curing them, you're treating them.
Well, it essentially knocked
You're
knocked
treating
them out, didn't it?
You're treating them to be, but you can treat them for life. They're docile. They're not going to leave. Instead of just curing them, if you cure them, they're not giving you any money.
The worst thing about this is the fact that this wasn't just a film. This happened.
It did, yeah, absolutely.
There's no artistic license in this.
Nope.
That fucking happened. It probably happened a lot worse than the way it's being portrayed in the film.
Sorry, I missed this. In between Murphy and Cheswick being taken in, so Murphy sat there with just the chief. He hands him a juicy fruit, some perfect product placement chewing gum. The chief just says, "Thank you." And he's like, looks at him and says, "Am I crazy?" The look on his face, "Am I crazy? Did you just speak?"
Yeah.
And he just like, he gives him another, and he's like,
Juicy fruit.
"Juicy fruit."
Juicy fruit.
And he realises he's pretending the whole time. It's fantastic.
Yeah. He's like, you had him fooled, Chief, you had him fooled.
There's a genuine moment of respect there, and that's when they really become friends. But he's the only guy that's reached out to him in years. Remember, the Native American Indians didn't get the vote in America until 1946. Right? So in the 60s, they're still very much viewed as second-class citizens. And like he says, he'd have a shittier life on the outside than he would on the inside.
It's a shame. Their own lands.
Yep.
And they were second-class citizens.
Disgusting.
They still are.
Oh, yeah.
To a greater extent.
Not that many left, though, to be fair.
No.
Really.
And there were a lot of social problems on reservations.
Yeah,
very poor.
Alcoholism, social abuse, all sorts. It's terrible. It's the same with the Aboriginal reservations in Australia too.
Yeah.
It's terrible. And you think the way they were treated is that'll probably another episode
They're
of
still
the
treated
time.
bad.
I know. But in 1963, when this is set, it's even worse.
Oh fuck yeah!
You know, like I say, they've only had the vote for less than 20 years. We're even citizens.
Was he committed? Voluntary?
I'm guessing he's been committed because they don't actually name all four. Is he there voluntary?
I don't think they named him, so I think he was
No,
voluntary.
he might have been voluntary, but he was one of those ones that's there all the time, I guess. He can go any time he wants, he's just staying at his own will.
Safest place for him, though, isn't it?
He doesn't want to be out.
No, because see what happened to his dad. Became an alcoholic and destroyed him.
Yeah, his dad was big like him, and we got it later on. And they broke him down. They just kept giving him booze for work. You know, just kept giving him booze, broke him down, became a shell of a man. He says every time he sucked on the bottle, he wasn't him sucking on it, it was sucking out of him.
Yeah.
They get the news at McMurphy's back when they're in session with Ratchet again. We cut back to Ratchet's group therapy, and he stumbles in. Actually, because I haven't seen this film in a long ass time, and I've never seen it all in one sitting. I'd forgotten about this. I was like, oh shit! Oh, hang on, they fucking lobotomised him.
Yeah.
And then, but he's shuffling in like a zombie. He's just doing the joke. He's just pissing around with them, and you know, he's the leader of this group in the mentally deficient league, as they call themselves. I think it's fantastic. Mental defective league. I mean, the chief is like face when he shuffles in. He's like, oh my god. But no, it's just he's starting to get a bit more animated. The chief, I like it. He's starting to he's getting in with the gang slowly.
Yeah. McMurphy's brought him out of his shell.
Yeah, which you'd think is make McMurphy the doctor.
Yeah.
If you made McMurphy the doctor, these guys would be fucking cured in 6 months.
Yeah. So they want them to be treated like normal people. He treats them like normal people.
Yeah.
He gets to know them, understands.
Yeah.
Like, you know, what they like and shit.
And that's it. He knows how to calm them down. He knows how to communicate with them on an individual level. He's a great character. I really like the character Jack plays in this. It's a great job by him. I'm going to praise that again and again probably in this. They're all great.
Fantastic performances all around, isn't it?
At this point, he's like, I want to get out. I've had this fucking electroshock therapy. I don't want that again. I want to get out. So he comes up with a cunning little switcheroo while the night porter escorts the nurse out. Sneaks in, uses a phone, rings up Candy. Like, hey, bring booze. Bring plenty of booze. We're going for it, it's tonight's the night. And he wants the chief to go with him. And he can't do it because of the reasons. He's like, no, it's better for me in here than it is out there.
He says to McMurphy, you're a bigger man than me.
Yeah, which is a good line.
Tree trunk.
That's a good line though, because he is a bigger man than the chief.
Yeah.
He's outgoing, he knows how to get on, he can manipulate people, he can talk to people, whereas the chief can't. It's just not him. So he bribes the night watch guy, the night porter, with money, booze and girls, Candy and a friend. Starts getting the patients pissed while he's distracted in the tub room. He's like, oh, I'm just quiet and put some music on. It's a Turkle is the guy's name.
Yeah, he's a cook from The Shining.
Is he the one that does the whole, you got The Shining?
Yeah.
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 I don't know if he does it like that.
You can just...
You got The Shining.
You know what I'm on about though.
Yeah.
You got the shinning.
You got the gift.
The shin.
The shin. He's groundskeeper Willie.
Yeah.
In that movie,
You got the shinning.
I've only watched that movie twice, and one of them was reviewed at the Lombard. I was really high. I mean, I wasn't high.
It's a masterpiece, isn't it?
Oh, it's
One
great.
of the best horror films ever, I think.
High on life, you meant.
Yes, high on life. That's exactly right. But he's got all the patients hiding in his office as the night supervisor comes in, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm okay." There's clattering, they're trashing the fucking place, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm okay. Candy opens the door and she's like, "Hey," and he's like, "Oh yeah, gets lonely in here at night. You know, a man has urges." Kind of line. And then I'm not sure if it's a different party because because it's Christmas now. Unless they just broke into the Christmas decorations box.
No, it was the same.
The same night, yeah.
It was just the Christmas decorations were up.
Oh right, I hadn't noticed it was Christmas.
No, I hadn't either.
I guess it's quite subdued in there, isn't it?
It's just to assume that
they don't want to overstimulate.
Maybe there is a Christmas decoration box, but Nurse Ratched never put them up.
Probably.
Maybe.
So they broke into it and put them up.
She's a great character to hate, though, isn't she?
Yeah.
I don't hate her as such.
You would, yeah.
I would.
You want a whipping, you don't you? There's no way on earth she's not going to be a dominatrix in this scenario.
At that age there, I would.
You want a prostate exam from Nurse Ratched?
50 years ago, I'd give her a large portion.
Well,
Is she still alive?
As she gives you a...
Is she still alive?
I think she is, yeah.
Yeah, it's nearly 50 years ago, that film. It's like 47 years ago.
Shit.
So,
I
would have 47 years ago, definitely.
Oh, that's great. If Pete can go back in time, he's banging the actress that played Nurse Ratched.
Yep.
On his way to shoot up ancient Egyptians.
I've got to say I prefer the little Latina assistant.
Well, I'd have gone both, to be fair.
I preferred the
It's
nurse
the
from
60s,
the...
man. They were well liberal.
I preferred the nurse from the... sorry, Claire. The nurse in the more lockdown one. She was the little...
Yeah.
She's a Vietnamese, maybe. Or Thai girl.
Claire can have Dr. Scanlon.
I'd just go for
Remember his name?
Hey!
Scanlon, the guy with the beard. He's a goer.
Who would you go for, Claire?
I don't know.
Oh, it's going to be Jack, and it, surely.
So he's going Jack Nicholson.
Yeah, why not?
Jack was a massive...
Even I could turn down Jack Nicholson.
Even Mike's not turning down Jack Nicholson in his
Not Christopher Lloyd. With his
Jack was a massive hit with the ladies, though, wasn't he? He was a bit of a goer.
They all are, aren't they?
Yeah. Well, no, in real life, Jack was a goer.
Money and fame
Yeah,
does
they
that for you.
Yeah, but the whole ward is trashed, and he really should have escaped. He's got the keys off the night porch. He's opened the window. He's literally waiting, but for some reason he decides to get Billy laid,
And then
falls asleep by the open window. And you're like, I wrote in the book, just go, man, just go. Because what's going to happen? The worst is she's going to be escorted off the premises.
Yeah, but he cares about Billy, and he
I know.
understands that this is what Billy needs.
Yeah.
He needs to get laid.
That's true. Porter's come in with Ratchet. They're like getting things back in order. The window's relocked. He's missed his chance. The cap's filthy and she's not happy. She gets him to line up. Where's Billy? He's got some. I genuinely expected him to have choked her to death. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I just thought he was going to be like a fucking murder scene. I thought it was going to be like a Jack the Ripper scene in there.
You jumped ahead of it here, haven't you?
No.
No, a bit right.
It's the next morning, isn't it?
It's the next morning.
Yeah. You've gone straight to the strangling now.
No, I thought Billy would have strangled Candy.
I see what you're saying.
Because he's in there for a reason, isn't he? I thought he might have been a bit of a fucking sex predator, but...
Do you ever think Billy's a danger to anybody else but himself?
You never know.
Well, no.
Come on.
But, he has tried to commit suicide before, it's in his history. Alright, mate, I don't know, I was just expecting the worst, or maybe that's what Hollywood's bred into me. He's in a mental hospital for a reason.
I don't think he's dangerous.
He got laid. They find him in the room.
He's not the only one that got laid.
Hey?
Scanlon got laid as well. With the other girl.
Look, mate,
we shared a sofa with her.
In my head,
in Mike's head canon,
Scanlon scored.
And the best of it is that he's confident. His stutter's gone. It's fantastic. The Nurse Ratched is
talking normally.
He's interrogating him like, and then she plays a trump card. What would your mother say? I'll tell your mum. I'll tell your mother. His stutter's back. She's like, oh, what's friends with your mother? I'm going to tell her what you did. It wasn't right for you to take that girl there. The stutter's back.
And
he grasses up McMurphy.
At this point, McMurphy's kind of giving daggers as well because he's seeing exactly what she's doing.
Yeah.
To this poor young lad. Because he's only like 20, 21.
Not even that, maybe. He might be younger.
Perhaps, but he's certainly a young lad.
And she's breaking him down.
And she breaks him instantly. You see, he's fixed. The confidence he was given by the woman, Candy, sleeping with him, took away what was holding him back.
He loved it, didn't he? I think he did actually kind of was falling for her.
Yeah. And she made it seem something shameful and dirty.
Yeah.
It's just natural, man, isn't it?
And he got his mum into it, and that was it then. Straight back to square one.
Stuttering.
And
He's
yeah,
screaming as he's
Murphy
dragged
wasn't happy.
away. He goes to the doctor's office, so that means he's going to tell his mum.
It just proves that she doesn't care about the patients.
No, they put him into a room and he cuts his own throat. You hear a scream,
Smashing a scream. cuts
smashing
her
a
throat.
scream. The nurse assistant comes running out. She's covered in blood. He's cut his own throat. It's a real sort of like, whoa.
So, yeah, it's a dark moment.
She just says, well, carry on with your daily routine.
Yeah.
The only thing I could think of on that was the blood was very, very, very bright red.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Blood was rubbish, but it was nearly 50 years ago, so I'll let it off.
Special effects varied back then.
Yeah, it looked like paint. It looked like red paint, for fuck's sake. It was still that moment that was
They
like...
could have used pig.
Oh.
They could have used
They could have
pig's blood.
pigmented better.
They could have used pig's blood.
Or
They
couldn't
could
they?
have.
corn syrup.
Yeah.
Whatever. But McMurphy is furious with this because she's basically killed him in his eyes.
And he genuinely cared for
Yeah,
him
he
as well.
just got him laid. He actually gave up his chance of escaping for the guy.
With a woman that he loves as well.
Yeah.
This is the other thing. He's clearly got a thing for Candy.
Yeah.
And he even tells her like he loves her and that, and he gives that for him.
Yeah, he lunges at her and he's just choking her on the floor until he's pulled off her and knocked out. Because the black guy, because he hits the keys, he's fumbling for the lock again, isn't he?
Yeah.
And he's like, he's like, okay, I'll be until that happens, and then that's it. Then he's got this strap on his hand. I don't know what that is exactly.
Belt, wasn't it?
The
No?
belt.
Which means he can hit harder because it's not going to hurt his knuckles.
Yeah, it just knocks him out and he's taken away. We go back to the day routine on the ward. They're playing cards. They've all got their cigarettes now, though. So Murphy's not there to encourage them to gamble, is he? One of the patients comes in from having his teeth fixed, and he's like, "Oh, Sir McMurphy, I heard about Murphy. He's escaped. He got out. He punched 2 guards, and he escaped." Hardings was like, "Nah, he's not. He's upstairs. He's meek as a lamb." He's led back in at night. Probably so no one can see him, and he's been lobotomised. He's got the 2 scars on inside the forehead.
Is it 2? Is he only saw one?
No, there's 2
No,
because you
there's
take
2.
out the frontal
Yeah.
lobes. It's but
I didn't notice both. I only noticed
Yeah.
the one on
Yeah.
his right side.
no, he's got the 2. That's how they do it. And the chief sees him being brought back, goes over and he says, "Look,
I'm ready now.
I'm ready now. Come
I'm
on, we'll get out of
stronger,
here.
yeah.
I'm stronger. We'll get out of here." And then he sees his lobotomy scars. And he's like, "Oh no," because he thinks like he's been drugged up at the start.
Yeah.
Sees he knows exactly what they are, and then he just basically tells me, "Come on, we'll get out, me and you. I'll take you with
Go
me.
together, like,
I'll take you with me." And then he just smothers him with a pillow. And he is taking him with him in a sense.
he's releasing his spirit. His
To
soul.
he's like,
Certainly
I'm taking
as he would thought.
the fact that you've shown me that people can be good and reach
Yeah.
out. I thought everyone was bad on the outside. You've shown me that everyone is bad on the outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take you with me in that respect, and I'm going to go out there.
It's a mercy killing, isn't it? Because
It is. I think he knew he'd
Well, he's
want
been-
that because I mean he was such a.
lobotomised cabbage.
The whole McMurphy is his character. It's his
Yeah,
gregarious
so lively
nature.
and
He's out.
bubbly.
He's verbally. He wants to help people. He's trying to help these guys, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
More than anything, he's a good guy, even though he's obviously
Bit of a lad.
he's a bit of a rogue. But at
Yeah.
the heart, in there, I guess it changes him because he doesn't have he only fights the porters in there who are repressing the inmates. It would have been very easy for him to lose his shit and punch one of the inmates. So.
Yeah.
And Chief heads down to the washroom and he picks up that sort of shower podium that was there.
That marble
the
fucking-
marble podium.
Probably
Rips
weighs
it
a
up
good
because
100
the Chief's
kilos.
strong as fuck. With the power of badassery, lifts it up. The water's pissing everywhere. Carries it all the way to the ward. And just launches it through the window. Jumps through and runs out majestically into the woods.
Yep.
Like a horse running across the prairie.
I was hoping that the rising sun was going to come up and he'd be silhouetted against it and he'd run into the rising sun. But no, it's dawn, this light is just breaking and he is gone. He's out of there.
It's another scene ripped off from The Simpsons, isn't it?
Absolutely, yes. Now he's on the run from breaking out and on a murder charge because it's going to be pretty obvious who killed McMurphy, isn't it?
Luckily for him, in the 60s, the police were shit.
That's very
So
true.
He had a good few hours head start. He was on his way to Canada. He's sound. Yeah,
It's not hard to spot though, is he? A 7-foot Indian man.
Yeah, but there was no social media in them days. There was only phone calls to people, and then
No, but you'd have it on the police radio. Look out for an escaped mental patient.
But
what does he look like? He's a 7-foot Indian.
So
He can't hide it.
Native American.
Yeah, sorry.
well,
And in them days they would have said
Maybe. Yeah. Red
for
Indian.
Indian.
7-foot dirt worshipper.
What?
That's what he used to
Bloody
call
hell,
him, wasn't it?
Michael, fucking hell.
You're exposing
Jesus.
yourself as a
We
bit of a
can edit
racist
that
in
No.
this episode, aren't you?
I'm putting my
Edit that bit out.
That's what they would have said.
Yeah,
things
thank
like
you.
No, you're right, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's like on the radio when they said that 3 Negro children were
Oh,
killed.
yeah, that's true.
And it was like, oh my god,
Yeah.
I can't believe they used to say shit like that.
Yeah.
Like, I felt uncomfortable repeating that, but it was on the film.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it just makes you think, fuck me, how far we've come. Thank fuck we have.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
don't know, society in general
Oh,
still need to go further.
Yeah, but they don't announce it like that on the news
God,
anymore.
no.
You know, yeah. That's the thing. Just repeating it. But then you had signs, didn't you, up in the shops? You know,
Yeah.
whites only.
I know, shocking, innit? Shocking. Glad we didn't really suffer that here, did we? Thank fuck.
Yeah. It was and it was against the Irish as well.
Well, against the Irish, the Irish and the
No blacks,
the
no
black
Irish, no dogs in the shops. Or
Seriously?
Yeah.
Not in every shop, but certainly
And pubs.
some pubs,
Fucking hell.
private businesses.
No, let's bring
Necessarily
that dog in here.
I don't think it was a law as such, was it?
wasn't the
Like
law.
it, like
but
it
it's-
was
No.
in America and
No.
South
Well,
Africa.
that's what I mean. Like in certain countries, like America and South Africa,
But there was
it
definitely discrimination.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there was back in the day, but for every single one of them, there was another case where they became part of the community and everyone got on because they were all working class and in it together. And they all got on and they went to the same pubs and it wasn't widespread, but it was there in certain communities.
It's just got better over time.
It's
didn't
got better over time, obviously.
Like 35 years ago, the first black family I met lived up the street from us, and they were American. They were the loveliest people ever. Little boy was the same age as me. We used to play with him, and my birthday, and she'd come out with a little cupcake and a little candle on it for me, just because it was my birthday. And she just rushed off, got a cake and a candle, and bought it out for
Nice.
me. Like, happy birthday,
But
little
no,
Peter.
that's what I actually like.
She was ace.
Walking from the shop at the bottom of the road now, because there's a bit of a growing black community in Telford, and obviously they've got kids. But you see the white kids and the black kids playing football,
You'd have never seen that then, would
and
you?
you wouldn't have seen that
suppose?
since 1963. But it's like everyone's just kind of doesn't give a shit anymore. The kids don't seem to give a shit anymore, which is
It's
nice.
great,
the
isn't
odd,
it?
the odd few
good.
knobheads.
Yeah.
You always get the odd few no's, but on the whole, it's fantastic because the kids don't seem to give a shit anymore.
There's always somebody on the fringes, whether it's black or white or whatever it
It
is.
needs to get to the point where there is
Transsexual
no
or
colour,
whatever, yeah.
that nobody
Well,
looks
as
at
we-
anything,
as we
there's
saw
no
with the-
difference with anyone.
There are still obviously lunatics. Obviously, there's a tragedy in America this week where some.
Oh, dickhead. R.I.P. to all of those poor young children.
Wasn't there a school shooting, wasn't there, in Texas?
Yeah, 14 dead. The police sat there and
19.
waited for 19.
19 kids.
40 minutes they
teachers.
sat there.
Yeah, they just sat there like, waiting because they didn't have sufficient body armour.
I
Letting
wonder,
kids get shot
I
while they
wonder
stood
how many
there.
kids died within that period.
Yeah.
I don't know how many.
They said they had him barricaded in the classroom, yet with the kids and a teacher.
Yeah.
Absolutely shocking. Hopefully the gun laws will change now.
No,
it
it
needs
won't.
to.
They were.
They need to, but they won't.
I know.
But,
Biden's a bit more likely to do it though.
No.
He is. He's a lot more likely to do it than bloody if Trump was.
Yeah, but this
still
isn't the
They-
first one they've had under Biden. He still hasn't done anything. They'll never get through the courts because they'll never get to the Senate because too many people in the Senate take money from the NRA. There you go. It's just that
Even though
easy.
90% of Americans want some gun control.
Yeah. Just needs to be automatic weapons.
Oligarchy will never get done.
Doesn't benefit.
No.
I mean, gun sales have jumped up. There you go. But there was no good guy with a gun in this scenario, like they always claim.
Well, there was. There was a security guard.
What happened to him?
Got shot.
Shit.
Survived though.
Did no good, did it?
No.
No.
He's got a pistol. The other guy's got...
Body armour and two
Yeah.
fully automatic weapons. Or semi-automatic weapons, or high caliber weapons.
Do you know what I'm about doing now?
Ridiculous.
Arming the teachers.
Well, they were on about that last
Yeah, but again,
time,
in that
weren't
scenario, it's still going to do no good, is it?
Well, it may have done. The teacher may have take him out if the security guard failed.
Why should you put that burden on a teacher? You know, it's like, yeah, because I want my teachers to be killers now.
they? Certainly, as a teacher.
What
in
happens if the
America-
teacher goes nuts, takes the gun out of the box, starts shooting the kids in the
Yeah, I know.
classroom?
Right, then if you don't get this question right,
Yeah,
Remember what I've got in here, boys?
And plus, now you've got loaded weapons in a classroom.
yeah.
No, they'd be kept unloaded.
Would they?
Yes, the idea. I've seen the box that they come in. There's a little case, a nice little travel case. It's got a lock and a combination, which a teacher knows, and they do the combination. And there's the pistol itself. I think it's a Glock or a Sig, probably a 9mm anyway. And they take it out of this nice little foam packaging.
Well, that's
There's
not so
15
good.
rounds sat there, and they load it into the mag, and then they make the weapon ready. But because there's obviously a warning
Yeah.
of there's an active shooter, so they've potentially got time to load the magazine. But if he's wearing body
But I mean,
armour, it's not going to
Would a
happen.
teacher to teach small children and
They teach them rhymes about
Yeah.
lockdown now, like, oh, we're in lockdown, get under the chair and
then
lie
they're going to be
down
armed to the teeth as well, just in case.
Oh, it's
Like-
incredible.
It's madness.
It's, I'm going to have a bit of a tangent here,
Yeah, yeah.
but worth it. They'll never change it. It won't happen. It just won't. And we had one school shooting in the UK and immediately banned all handguns, which we could own over here anyway.
Yep.
So
That was the way forward.
that was the way forward.
guys.
Clearly, we haven't had another school shooting since.
And stricter licences on shotguns, wasn't it?
There's
Yeah.
not even been a school massacre. Like nobody's gone in with knives and massacred 10 children.
No, I mean,
It's not
all right,
happened.
we've got a bit of a knife problem, but still.
Nothing.
Better than a gun problem.
Nothing in comparison.
Anyway,
Right, so listen to next week when we're going to continue on the mental
Talk about
health.
the actual shit that went on.
we'll do sort of a worst mental asylums, then some stuff on lobotomies and shock therapy, which will be fun. Or not. Mike's going to undergo shock therapy for the show. I'm going to
Chief
get.
Science Officer, he's going to test it out for
He's
us.
going to test it out for himself. I've got the car battery and jumper cables right here next week.
I was thinking them little, you know, the lighters, the clicky bit on the lighter.
One on each bollock.
That's what you want nurse Ratchet to do to you, isn't it? The jumper cables on the bollocks.
That'll do.
If that doesn't work, I'm having a goddamn lobotomy.
Oh, the show. You're going to be a lot more quiet on the show if you do.
That'd be a blessing, wouldn't it?
No! You're the science officer? Oh, you're some drooling imbecile with 2 lobotomy scars.
Welcome to Brexit Britain.
Coming to check.
Scars too.
There you go. Don't fill his head with hope. And on that note, let's end the show. We'll carry this on next week. Thank you very much for listening. I've been Ben. Don't think the favourite and don't join a cult.
I've been Mike, thanks for listening. Peace out. May the force be with you.
And I've been Claire, keep an open mind, but not so open that it spills out your ears.
And I've been Pete. Aim low, shoot high.